was just going to say, Kate, I don't have those slides. If you want to roll through them for me and I'll talk.
Very good. All right.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, my name is Natalie Peeterse, and I'm the Director of Distance Delivery here at Healthcare Montana. And Kay's got my contact information up there, and she's also going to email it to you if any of you have any questions after my presentation. You know, don't hesitate to reach out. I'm going to be talking about several of the products we've made in response to employer input that we've gathered at the beginning of the grant through a needs assessment and then through rapid response surveys throughout the grant. And hopefully if you aren't already engaged in some of these programs, we can get them to you so you can kind of see what we're up to. So next slide. So I'm going to talk about our success skills modules, an online CNA course and specialties we're creating, and the LEAD program. So our success skills for CNA modules were created in response to a lot of feedback we got at long-term care facilities and facilities that use CNAs that there was a need for some development in success skills training and soft skills training. So we created modules on the topics of organization and time management, leadership, professionalism, communication, critical thinking, and conflict resolution. So we have five-minute videos on these topics. You know, they can be used in staff orientations to sort of set a precedent, in staff training, or they can be used one-on-one. You can have a copy of the MP4 so that your facility can use the trainings, you know, when the grant is over or in any way that you'd like. And right now we've got 46 facilities using the modules or in ownership of the modules across the state, which is pretty exciting, and we've gotten some good feedback on them. So if you're interested, I can give you a link to download and use the modules, and I just would like to track their use at your facility. The next thing that we're working on at Healthcare Montana is a CNA specialty course in restorative care. And this one's almost finished. So what we heard was that we wanted, employers wanted some professionalization and specialization among CNAs. So we've been working with an expert curriculum developer to make these courses. The restorative care course has been peer reviewed by Mary Nielsen, our nursing director, by a physical therapist, by a CNA instructor. And the course can be completed in about 8 weeks if a student works about 10 hours a week. It can be used in conjunction with a healthcare apprenticeship, which is another project of Healthcare Montana and the Department of Labor and Industry. And we're developing more courses. We're working on mentorship, dementia, and end of life. These courses have been designed to be really easily used by a facility. They can be put up on a learning management system if you're a part of one, if you have one or you're part of a network that has one. They can be completed electronically at a desktop, and they can be printed out for facilities in the far corners of our beautiful rural state that don't have high-speed internet or don't have extra workstations. You know, it can be old school paper and pencil and a notebook. And so that's a really exciting project that if you're interested in restorative care, which is the one we're going to be rolling out in the next couple of weeks here, let us know. And the other program I've been working on is called the Healthcare Montana LEAD program, Fostering Self-Awareness for Workplace Success. LEAD stands for Learn, Engage, Adapt, Do. So as a result of us creating these CNA success skills modules and talking about it with folks in the state, we heard that people wanted more soft skills and success skills trainings that were not specific to CNAs. And then we heard they wanted some that are not even specific to a particular facility or healthcare in general. So in response to that, we developed LEAD. The topics are communication, professionalism and dependability, leadership, and conflict resolution. And critical thinking is really embedded into the conflict resolution month. They're meant to be done 4 days a week, 10 minutes at a time in a huddle setting. We piloted this in a long-term care facility in Stevensville with great results. There was a great sense of camaraderie that was developed, and the administrator said a lot of these success skills on communication, especially because that's what we piloted there, they really brought up some great fruitful conversation. The training relies on a champion, which can be a formal or informal leader at a facility or workplace that gets folks in a huddle, has a small amount of reading to do on a card, and then there's a discussion, and they carry from one day to the next but can also be used interchangeably. So if you just happened upon a huddle on the 3rd day of the week and you hadn't been present before, you could still really get something out of the discussion. So the LEAD program is currently available through Healthcare Montana's workforce coordinators if you're interested. So thank you, Kay.
Great, Natalie. Thank you so much. And I see that quite a few more people have joined, and thank you very much for joining. I want to let you know that we are recording this session, and so we will make the recording available to you so you can listen to the first part of it if you want to, or you can also have other people listen to it if they weren't able to participate. We will also make the slides available, so we will email you the slides, but we will also put them and the recording on our website. Carol has chatted into the chat box the website location, and so we'll send you a link directly to the recording on the website, as well as the slides. Also, if you would all please, those of you that joined later, would you please type your name, and anybody that's in the room with you, type their names too into the chat box, as well as your facility. We really would like to know for sure how many people have participated and who you are. We'd like to continue to communicate with you over this last year of our project. So now I'm going to turn the presentation over to... Oh yeah, does anybody have any questions for Natalie? If you do, please feel free to unmute yourself and ask a question, or you can chat a question into the chat box. We are monitoring the chat box too. So anyway, I'll pause for a second in case anybody has a question or a comment.
I just saw a comment there that said I mentioned a link to the success skills. I did. All I asked for in exchange is your email address so I can track the usage of the success skills, and I'll paste the link into the chat box presently.
Yeah, so the link, so when you go to the link, correct me if I'm wrong, Natalie, in order to actually have it, you have to communicate with you. Is that correct?
I can give them the download link here, and I'll just track it today through the chat box.
Okay, so yes, just please let Natalie know if you want. See, the reason that we're trying to track these things is, one, we have to report to the Department of Labor, the U.S. Department of Labor, what we're doing and who's taking advantage of what we're doing. And also, two, we really do want your feedback. If you're using our materials or our projects, which of course we make available to you at no cost to you whatsoever, we want to, in this last year, if there's a way we can make them better before we're done, we want to do that. And unless you give us feedback about what you think needs to be changed, we don't know what to fix. So that's why we're wanting to make sure that we are able to hear from you and still keep track of who's using our various programs or materials.
So I've pasted the link in the chat box, and I see your email, and I'll just follow up with anyone who wants these in another month or so to get just a feedback survey from you, and that's all I need. Thank you.
Thank you, Natalie. And too, we've built in plenty of time for questions when we're done too. So if any questions come up for Natalie, feel free to go ahead and chat them into the box, or we will also open it up for questions at the end of the webinar. So now I'm going to turn it over to Mary Nielsen.